Akira Toriyama, a name that will be remembered for centuries. Because not only did he shape anime and manga into what it is today, but he shaped so many people's lives, including mine, which is why I'm making this video right now. A guy like Akira Toriyama who influenced so many people's lives, so many children's lives. I I I, I just I guess I want to share all of my fondest memories that I can remember off the top of my head about Dragon Ball and how it's affected me in my life and everything like that. First and foremost, you know, I wouldn't have this channel. It sounds cliche, but I would not have this channel without Dragon Ball, without his art, without his influence, without um the tenacity and the creative mind that he has or had. Well, I'm gonna say has because I'm pretty sure no, there won't be another Akira Toriyama, but his work will live on through other people. So, um, and his influence will forever change other people's lives even after his death. But I started playing Dokkan, the global version, when it came out in 2015, but I didn't really like catch on to it at that time. I just saw it as like a puzzle type game with Dragon Ball characters and elements to it, and I didn't really see it for what it was, and so I quit playing it. But then I re-downloaded it. I was re-downloading it at a hotel party, with some friends of mine, and one of them was a pretty long time friend at the time. I would say about a year we'd known each other, but um, I was re-downloading it, and he saw that I was re-downloading it, so he started re-downloading it and then we started talking about how he had been playing it since day one and everything like that, or maybe he didn't. Maybe he had it on his phone already. He just hadn't been playing it for a while. He'd been taking breaks just like everybody does. But it was just funny. I mean, we knew both of us loved Dragon Ball, and we knew that. That was one of the things that we became friends over. Is we loved anime, we loved Dragon Ball, um, and it helped us connect to each other in that way. And we've been friends ever since. He's a really great friend. I love the guy. Shout out to Chur if you are watching this video, but yeah, I re-downloaded it, started playing it, and I at the time, it was about I would say around the third anniversary. I think right after the third anniversary of Dokkan, and he was showing me how the game worked and everything like that. Because at that time, it had advanced pretty well forward from its inception in 2015, and so it was a little more complicated than it was back at that time. So he's kind of showing me the ropes and how it works and everything like that. And so I got really, really into it. Took many breaks over the years, but eventually started this channel over Dokkan. And it's been a it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun, and I love the community behind this game, behind this IP. It's awesome to connect with people who love the same thing. And Dragon Ball, I is a phenom. It has connected so many people throughout the entire world, not just one section of it, but the entire world. So many different languages, so many different continents, so many different countries. It's absolutely insane the amount of influence Akira Toriyama had on so many people. I personally have never read the mangas. I gotta start doing that now. I've been looking into it. I do want to start reading like the Dragon Ball Super manga and stuff like that. I really want to get into that kind of stuff. So, um, I just don't particularly like reading, but it helps that it has pictures. Um, but yeah, I remember as a kid, um, I grew up with a single mom for half my childhood, and we didn't have a lot. We didn't have TV or anything like that. I mean we did, but we had like, the little rabbit ear antennas, where you could get the local channels and stuff like that, and the weather channel and the news channel and such. But we didn't have like Cartoon Network, Toonami, or anything like that. But I did have an older brother. He would go to we have different dads, same mom, different dads, but he would go to his dad's. He lived with his dad. He would go to his dad's, um, and he would have these blank VCR tapes, and he would record the Dragon Ball episodes every week for me. And when he would come back to the house with me and my mom, he would hand me the tape, and I would be just so excited to see the next episodes that aired. And I remember sometimes he would record them, and it would be some of the same episodes that we had seen, just out of order, because at the time they were, dubbing the episodes and getting them ready to come over to the US. So as we were waiting on the dubbed versions, they would do episode reruns and stuff like that. So he would do that continuously for a very, very long time. Because back then, we didn't have internet either. So in our house, so there was no way for me to like look it up online or anything like that. That was like my only source to watch Dragon Ball. And um and I loved it. I loved it. My brother and I were about 6 years apart, and at the time, I think I was like, I can't remember what age I was, but I was around 8 or 10, and he was about 14, 16. So it really, even though he was a teenager, that was one thing that really we had in common and connected us as siblings. We loved Dragon Ball. And I remember growing up, he would always play, Dragon Ball figures with me and everything like that. And it got to a point where and I didn't know this until I was an adult, but it got to a point where he didn't even like playing figures anymore. But I still did because I was a little kid. So, and he would continue to play them with me, play figures and everything like that, and like use our imagination as Dragon Ball characters with the Dragon Ball figurines and everything like that. And the fact that he would continue to do that with me, even though he didn't personally enjoy it, he knew that I did, and so he would, do that for me. And it really touched me when I learned that. But it just goes to show that, something like Dragon Ball, something that huge, something that big, and something that creative, goes to show that Akira Toriyama, in every sense of the way, influenced people's lives in so many different ways, through reading, through figurines, collectibles, TV, movies, all that stuff. Um, and I remember the moment. I'm a little biased. Gohan's my favorite character. I know that generally speaking, peak Dragon Ball is when Goku goes Super Saiyan against Frieza. Spoilers for those who haven't seen Dragon Ball yet, but my favorite moment in the series is when Gohan goes Super Saiyan 2 for the first time in the Cell games. My absolute favorite saga, my absolute favorite moment, and the Bruce Faulkner music. Hope I'm saying his name right. But the Bruce Faulkner score was absolutely fantastic, especially when he was fighting the Cell Juniors and completely obliterating them right after he turned Super Saiyan 2. that moment or those moments with that music just absolutely dominated any scene for me personally. I actually looked that up on YouTube and I'll watch it every once in a while just to get that feeling back. And it was just such an incredible few episodes or lots of episodes. I can't remember how many episodes it went for, but when he turned Super Saiyan 2 and all those moments where he was just overpowering Cell and all the Cell Juniors and how much power creep he had. Like it just seemed like even Goku when he turned Super Saiyan against Frieza, Frieza was still holding his own. Cell, on the other hand, the only time he was holding his own after Gohan turned Super Saiyan 2 is when he was in his perfect form after he resurrected and they were doing the Kamehameha Clash. That was about the only time. Other than that, Gohan just completely like kicked his butt. It was insane. And I absolutely love those moments. Those moments have resonated with me for years and years and years up until this day, and it will continue to resonate with me. Dragon Ball Super, I thought was good. It didn't hit me as hard as Dragon Ball Z did. Dragon Ball Z is kind of Akira Toriyama's baby, though. And to be fair, Dragon Ball Z came out at a time when we were all kids, at least, men my age. Some people grew up on Dragon Ball Z Kai, which I haven't personally seen, but I've heard that they take out all the filler episodes and everything like that and all the filler scenes. I personally like the filler scenes, but some people don't. So to each their own, but um either way, Akira Toriyama created something just so massive, so much larger than him. And all this came from the mind of one man. And it just goes to show that sometimes you just have to be unapologetically creative and bold. And you'll never know, truly know, just how much of an influence and how much you will inspire people. You just never know. I guarantee you when Toriyama was thinking of this and trying to put it into pictures and then words and trying to figure out how the story is going to go, I don't think he was wondering or even thinking about how much this will affect people down for generations, literally generations. It's just so amazing. It is absolutely amazing. But definitely let me know in the comments below what your favorite moment of Dragon Ball is. What's your fondest memory of how this great man has influenced your life? Or what part of the series was your favorite? What part of the manga was your favorite? Whatever it is, let me know your favorite part of the Dragon Ball universe. Thank you for how much you've influenced all of us and for the great memories that you have given us and that you will give us through your work that will continue. There is no amount of words that can tell you how much we appreciate the inspiration, the creativity, and the amount of enjoyment that we have gotten and that we will continue to reap through your creativeness, through your inspired mind to create such a dense and entertaining and wonderful universe. in the world of Dragon Ball. We appreciate it. I appreciate it. And thank you. Rest in peace, Akira Toriyama.